You wake before the sun. The coffee maker hums in the quiet kitchen. You pull on the same faded blue shirt you've worn for years. Outside, a 12-year-old Toyota Camry waits in the driveway. It has one small scratch on the driver's door. Nothing about your morning stands out. By 7:10 a.m., you've already checked your investment accounts. They're worth $3,842,615. Your neighbors don't know. Your coworkers don't know. Even the barista who hands you coffee every Tuesday thinks you're just another middle-aged office worker. The strange part isn't becoming a millionaire. The strange part is how invisible it looks. Your money isn't sitting in a sports car. It isn't wrapped around your wrist. It isn't hidden inside a giant house. It lives where most people never look. Your home holds $640,000 in equity. That's security, not status. Your index funds have grown to $2.1 million. That's the real engine behind your wealth. Your brokerage account holds $670,000. That's your freedom fund. You keep $180,000 in cash. That's your sleep at night money. And then there's one account almost nobody knows exists, your granddaughter's education fund. It's worth $252,615. Put it all together, and your net worth is about $3.84 million. Give or take whatever the market decides today. The funny thing is, almost nothing in your daily life tells that story. No fancy watch, no luxury car, no designer clothes, just quiet habits, quiet choices, quiet wealth. And that leads to one important question. How does someone become this wealthy while looking completely ordinary? The drive to work never changes. The same blue shirt, the same jeans, the same simple watch you've worn for years. The same 12-year-old Camry rolls through the morning traffic without anyone looking twice. At the next stoplight, a brand new luxury SUV pulls beside you. Its paint shines, its wheels sparkle. People turn their heads. When you reach the office parking lot, the driver steps out with a smile. The monthly payment on that SUV is $1,000 monthers and $80. Most people see success. You see something else. You see a payment that comes back every month, year after year. Now imagine that same $1,000 monthers and $80 going into a low-cost index fund every month instead. Leave it there for 25 years. Don't chase the next hot stock. Don't try to beat the market. Just stay patient. That money can grow to more than $1 million. That's the quiet power of time. A car loses value almost every day. A good investment has the chance to grow while you sleep. One takes money out of your future. The other keeps putting money back into it. This is why your choices look strange to other people. You don't avoid luxury because you can't afford it. You avoid permanent payments. You'd rather own an asset than owe a bill. As you walk toward the office, someone you've never met points at your Camry. "I thought that belonged to one of the interns," they say with a small laugh. You look back at the old car. The scratch on the driver's door catches the morning light. You smile. Not because the joke is funny, because they only noticed the car. They never noticed the freedom it helped buy. And that's the habit almost nobody sees. The quiet millionaire isn't trying to look rich. The quiet millionaire is trying to stay free. By 8 a.m., you're sitting at the same desk you've worked at for years. Your job isn't exciting. It isn't glamorous. You're a senior operations manager. You've done it for 32 years. You earn $96,000 a year. The people around you believe that's why you come to work every morning. They think you still need the paycheck. The truth is, you don't. Your investments could pay your bills. Your home is secure. Your savings are strong. You could walk away tomorrow if you wanted. But freedom doesn't always mean leaving. Sometimes freedom means choosing to stay. A few years ago, your boss called you into his office. He smiled before he even spoke. A promotion was waiting. The new role came with another $28,000 every year. Most people would hear that number and say yes before the meeting ended. You asked one question instead: what changes? The answer came quickly. Longer days, around 60 hours every week. More flights, more hotel rooms, more weekends checking emails, more family dinners missed. The raise looked bigger. The life looked smaller. You went home that evening. You sat at the dinner table. The food was simple, the conversation wasn't. Your granddaughter laughed as she told you about school. Nobody looked at a clock. Nobody rushed to catch a flight. In that moment, the numbers became clear. The extra money would have been nice, but it couldn't buy back the evenings you would lose. It couldn't replace birthdays missed. It couldn't replay ordinary moments that quietly become the best memories of your life. So the next morning, you thanked your boss. Then you turned the promotion down. Some coworkers thought you were afraid. Others believed you had stopped chasing success. Neither was true. You had simply learned something they hadn't. There comes a point where earning more no longer improves your life. It only asks for more of it. Real wealth changes the question. Instead of asking, "How much more can I make?" you begin asking, "How much of my life am I giving away?" That's the question most people never stop to ask. Because once you already have enough, every extra dollar has to compete with something far more valuable: your time. And time is the only investment that never pays you back once you've spent it. One Tuesday afternoon, a quiet knock lands on your office door. It's Jordan. He's one of the younger people on your team. Smart, hardworking, always the first to volunteer when something goes wrong. But today, he doesn't look like himself. He closes the door behind him. Then he asks a question almost in a whisper. "How are you always so calm about money?" You don't answer right away. Instead, you ask him to sit down. The words spill out faster than he planned. He owes $22,000 on his credit cards. His savings account is almost empty. Every payday feels the same. Money comes in, bills rush out. By the end of the month, the stress is back again. He says he feels like he's running on a treadmill that never stops. You understand that feeling. Most people think peace comes from earning more. Many times, it starts with managing what you already have. You could tell Jordan about the $3.84 million you've built. You don't. The number wouldn't change his habits. A simple system might, so you slide a sheet of paper across the desk. At the top, you write one sentence. Make your future self the first bill you pay. Then you help him set up one automatic transfer. A small amount moves into savings every payday. Another automatic payment goes into a low-cost index fund. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. Just one spreadsheet. Money in, money out, money left. Every dollar has a job before it's spent. Jordan looks at the plan. He laughs. "That's it?" You smile. "The hardest part isn't the system," you say. "It's trusting it long enough to work." A few weeks pass. Jordan stops eating lunch at his desk because he's worried about his bank account. He no longer checks his credit card balance every few hours. One morning, he tells you he made it through an entire payday without spending everything. A month later, he shows you his first emergency fund. It's small, but it's real. You never gave him a speech. You never showed him your investment accounts. You never tried to impress him. Because lasting change rarely begins with motivation. It begins with a system so simple that you keep following it long after the excitement is gone. Lunch starts the same way every day. A few coworkers gather around the break room table. One is showing off a brand new phone. Another is talking about the designer shoes he bought over the weekend. Someone else is planning a luxury vacation. Across the table, another coworker can't stop talking about crypto. "This one is going to explode," he says. Everyone leans in. Everyone wants to hear the next big thing. Then your eyes settle on one person. He's not eating much. His phone never leaves his hand. Every few minutes, he refreshes his stock prices. Green, red, green again. His mood changes with every number on the screen. He isn't investing anymore. He's chasing. Watching him is like looking into an old mirror. Because years ago, that was you. You believed there had to be a shortcut. You jumped from one can't-miss investment to another. Hot stocks, market rumors, tips from people who sounded confident. Every time you thought you were about to get ahead, you reached for something faster. Then came the lesson you never forgot. By the time the excitement was over, you had lost $38,700. Not because investing failed, because patience did. That loss hurt. but it taught you something no winning trade ever could. Easy money is usually expensive. From that day forward, you made yourself one promise: never gamble with your future again. No more chasing headlines. No more checking prices every few minutes. No more believing that wealth arrives overnight. Instead, you bought the same low-cost index funds, month after month, year after year, quietly. While everyone else searched for the next shortcut, you kept following the same road. Now your lunch costs $8. A simple sandwich, a piece of fruit, a bottle of water, nothing impressive. But when lunch is over, you put your phone back in your pocket. You don't wonder what the market did in the last 10 minutes. You don't worry about missing the next big trade. Because real wealth doesn't demand your attention every minute of the day. It gives your attention back. And after everything that $38,700 taught you, you know that's worth far more than any quick profit. Peace doesn't have a price tag, but it may be the most valuable thing your money can ever buy. Your phone rings just after 3 in the afternoon. It's your sister. She almost never calls during work. The moment you hear her voice, you know something is wrong. She tries to stay calm. She can't. Her husband needs emergency surgery. The doctors are ready. The insurance company is not. After everything the insurance will cover, there's still $18,400 left to pay. She doesn't ask you for money. She only asks if you know what they should do next. You don't answer right away. You open your banking app, a few taps, one transfer. Before dinner, the money is gone. No paperwork, no contracts, no repayment plan, no speech about being more careful. Just a message. Take care of him. We'll talk later. That night, your sister calls again. This time she's crying for a different reason. Not because she's afraid, because, for the first time all day, she can breathe. Most people think wealth is about buying bigger houses, driving faster cars, or collecting things that make strangers look twice. But those things don't matter much when life suddenly changes. This is where money shows its real purpose. Let's do the math. For you, that $18,400 is less than 0.5% of everything you've built. Your life doesn't change tomorrow. Your retirement doesn't disappear. Your plans stay exactly the same. For your sister and her family, that same amount could have meant years of credit card interest, monthly payments that never seem to end, sleepless nights wondering which bill could wait another week. One number, two completely different stories. Money has always worked like that. Its value isn't only found in what it can buy. It's found in what it can prevent. The arguments that never happen. The debt that never grows. The fear that never gets the chance to take over. That transfer won't appear on social media. No one at work will ever hear about it. The neighbors will never know. And that's exactly the point. The greatest use of wealth is often invisible. Because real wealth isn't measured by the things you own. It's measured by the problems you can quietly remove from the lives of the people you love. The workday is over. You take the long way home. As you pass a luxury watch store, something catches your eye. A watch sits alone under the bright lights. The price tag reads $14,900. You stop for a moment. Not because you're tempted, because this is where your routine always begins. For years, every big purchase has faced the same 3 questions. Will this matter in 10 years? You look at the watch. It tells the same time as the one already on your wrist. The answer is no. The second question comes next. Am I buying usefulness or attention? The watch won't make you healthier. It won't give you more freedom. It won't help your family. It will mostly change what other people think when they see your wrist. Another no. Then comes the last question. Who am I trying to impress? You stand there for another second. The answer is simple. No one who truly matters. 3 questions, 3 answers. You smile and keep walking. To someone watching through the store window, it looks like you lost interest. The truth is, you made the decision long before you ever saw the price tag. That little filter has quietly saved you hundreds of times, and over the years, it has saved you far more than money. But don't mistake the filter for being cheap. It has never been about saying no to everything. A few months earlier, those same three questions led you somewhere else. Your old mattress had become uncomfortable. You woke up tired. Your back ached every morning. You found a high-quality mattress. It wasn't cheap, but this time the answers were different. Would it matter in 10 years? Yes. Would it improve your daily life? Yes. Were you buying it for yourself instead of someone else's approval? Yes. You bought it without regret. Within weeks, you slept better. You had more energy. Your mornings became easier. Your health improved one night at a time. That purchase kept giving something back. The watch only asked for more. That's the difference. The filter doesn't stop you from spending money. It helps you spend with purpose. Because every dollar should either improve your future or improve your life. If it does neither, it's probably asking for more than it's worth. To understand how you got here, you have to walk back more than 30 years. You're 24 years old. Your salary is $34,000 a year. You don't feel rich. You don't even feel close. Some months, paying the bills feels like winning. But one decision changes everything. You promise yourself to invest 10% of every paycheck. Not when you get a raise, not after the debt is gone. Now. The first few years feel painfully slow. You check your account, it barely moves. Sometimes the market falls. Sometimes it climbs. Most days, nothing exciting happens. Friends tell you there's a faster way. You ignore the noise. Because deep down, you know you're not building excitement. You're building a future. It takes 7 years to reach your first $100,000. 7 years. Many people quit long before that moment. Not because the plan doesn't work, because it works too slowly. Then something begins to change. The second $100,000 takes only 3 years. The money you've already invested starts doing some of the work for you. You are no longer climbing the hill alone. Year after year, that quiet engine grows stronger. 6 years later, your portfolio reaches $500,000. Not because you found a secret, because you refused to stop. Then, almost before it feels possible, your first $1 million arrives. You look at the number on the screen. It feels unreal. Not because it happened overnight, because it didn't. The strange part comes next. The last million grows faster than the first $100,000 ever did. That's the power of compounding. It starts like a tiny snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it barely changes. Then it gathers more snow. It grows bigger. It rolls faster. By the end, the snowball is doing more work than the first push ever did. There was no lottery ticket, no genius investment. No lucky break, just thousands of ordinary Tuesdays, ordinary paychecks, ordinary transfers into the same investments, repeated again and again and again. That's the long corridor most people never finish walking, not because it's impossible, because they turn around before they reach the door at the end. Every neighborhood has a Rick. He lives a few houses down. He drives a brand new luxury truck. There's a boat in the driveway. The house is bigger than yours. Every few months, another new gadget arrives at his front door. From the outside, it looks like he's winning. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. The truth is, you don't know his full story. But you do know one thing. If 3 paychecks disappeared, everything around him could be at risk. That's not an insult. It's a reminder. Because years ago, you could have become him. The bigger car, the bigger house, the bigger payments. You didn't choose a different life because you were smarter. You chose a different system. And that system didn't belong to you alone. On the first Sunday of every month, you and your wife sit at the kitchen table. No television, no phones, just 2 cups of coffee and 1 notebook. For 1 hour, you review your spending. You review your goals, you review the people you want to help, then you make small changes. Nothing dramatic, nothing emotional, just another quiet step in the same direction, month after month, year after year. That's how ordinary habits become an extraordinary life. Today looks just as ordinary. You earned $384. You invested $110. You spent $41. You gave away $18,400. You chose not to spend $14,900. Most people will never notice those last two numbers, but together they say more about your life than any luxury car ever could. Because wealth was never about proving you can buy everything. It was about reaching the day when you no longer need to. After all these years, you've learned one simple truth. Wealth isn't the freedom to buy everything you see. It's the freedom to ignore almost everything you don't need. Tomorrow morning, the coffee maker will hum again. The faded blue shirt will come out of the closet. The old Camry will start on the first turn. The market will open. The world will keep chasing the next shiny thing. And you'll quietly do nothing, beautifully. Because sometimes, the richest life is the one that hardly anyone notices.